Un abbraccio virtuale a Ludovica e alla sua piccola Ottavia. Adesso parliamo di comunicazione. So, Aaron Chaudhary, Marzia Buonarroti, Silvia Dedea, Davide Montanaro, you have the floor.
Buonasera, tutti, tutte, and all those brave enough to not make a ridiculous binary choice. Il mio italiano is molto brutto, so I will speak in English, and we will be able to provide a translation hopefully soon. Brenda has asked me to explain everything useful to you about American politics. This isn't, where do I point this guy? In 8 minutes, and I said that, what will I do the last 3? So we will do this in 5, by not showing the videos. But if the slides don't advance, it's not going to work that great. All right, forget it. So we will be focusing on 2 things, which is the generic way that politicians in America win elections, and then the way specifically that my 2 political mentors, who were Barack Obama and Bernie Sanders, worked outside of that system. So, the way Democrats win elections in America, and I know this because I've helped design this, is that there are 6 things that can influence the voter. Yeah, you can go through them if you want. There's 6 things that can influence the voter. There is, number 1, the most powerful thing, loss aversion. Will I lose what I have today? The next one is anger. The next one is fear. The next one is empathy. The next one is hope. And the final one is curiosity. These are the only 6 things that motivate human behavior, and that's how human beings win elections. Now, there are, coincidentally, only 6 things that you can ask a voter to do. You can ask them to vote, but I mean, come on. That's the easiest one. We ask them to vote with other means. We want to know their relationships. We want to know their skills. We want to know their stories. And we want to know the 10 people in the world who they can influence. So much of what American political technology is based on in the last few years is, can I make the last 10 people who you know who actually give a shit what you think about, can you influence them? And that is how it works. Now, the center-left does this. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. The right wing in America tells stories in a different way. And I think Obama and Bernie kind of combine both, so I want to tell you the other way. And this is a very, very American thing. Republicans sell votes like they sell cars. That means you have to have 3 messages: a national message, a regional message, and a local message. This is going to start to sound sad and familiar when I explain it. Now, the national message is how you feel. Do you feel like you're a PD person? Do you feel like you want to own a Chevy? Do you feel like a Ford? Right? This is the national messaging. The regional is always much more practical. When you're selling a car in the US, you would say, it's back to school season, so buy a minivan. And then that local message is just what it takes to get across the door. That's when you get this crazy stuff in American politics with people, cooking bacon on guns and these ads and things. That is not the persuasion. I think often we think that's crazy, who would vote for this? That's just what gets you in the door to buy the car. You've already decided the brand that you're going to buy and the model you're going to buy. So I just want to make you buy it today with that final thing. And the reason I mention this is that this implies something that the right is better at than the left, which is sustained storytelling. talking about politics when there's not elections, not getting mired down. What could be the worst time to sell someone your ideas when you're looking for a job, right? This is the hardest time to make that deal. And we are selling the world's best product, which is socialism. So, how was Barack Obama and Bernie Sanders more successful at this than other center-left politicians in making things into movements? Just let this go. It's going to feel fine and psychedelic. Barack Obama is very good at making an emotional connection with people. So when we think about the narrative of him as a leader, we probably think about it in terms of civil rights. This is the black man in America who became president. America's hella racist. That can't be easy. Yes, that's true, but that's not the narrative. The narrative is something that any voter can identify with, which is someone who had an uncertain birth, dead dad, hippie mom, and created his own identity within American politics to feel comfortable. How do I know that's true? Because when we make content from it, a picture of Barack Obama with his family will do better than him, shooting Osama bin Laden in the face. Our highest donation in 2008 is a hilarious picture of Barack Obama, it'll probably come up in a second, with his daughter at an amusement park. This is our highest advertising thing because this is the narrative. Their narrative is about Obama creating a family and going from insecurity to safety, right? And all of a sudden you can start to see this is the most popular image of Barack Obama online. This feeling of safety and security and family is almost a reframing of the security frame of the right wing. And this is why it was so acceptable and so attractive to independent voters. It is this transformation, is that he made his biography map onto what he wanted to do, which was reframe center-right security policies as a feeling, as vibes on the center-left, and did it fairly successfully, and you can see other folks not doing as well with that, especially as Republicans are running so strongly on crime. Now, let's talk quickly, before I turn it over to our other colleagues on the board here, about Bernie Sanders, because that's different. That man is not on a journey anywhere. And that's the point. We make these emotional connections, but then we also have to show consistency. Consistency over time. It means putting out the same message over and over again, even when your family and your friends are like, your social media is the world's worst thing. You just say the same thing over and over again. Until they say that, you are not doing it right. So the thing that I think we can really find about narratives, right, with Bernie Sanders and showing all of his old positions and how they haven't changed and making content like that, is that showing an emotional connection that proves your values and then showing that your values don't change, is how these two politicians were able to break out of what normally would be a much tighter constricted narrative that often the center-left falls into. I'm sorry we didn't have more time to talk more about this, but you can always find me through any number of people here who I know, and I just want to say, we are in this together. Global solidarity is the only way this is going to work. I need to know what you know, you need to know what I know, and we need to learn to love each other, or we're not going to make it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Aaron, for this amazing insight. Salutiamo e ringraziamo Aaron Chaudhary, che è stato videografo di Obama e direttore creativo della prima campagna di Bernie Sanders per la presidenza degli Stati Uniti. Marzia, a te il microfono adesso, grazie.
Grazie. Ciao, salve a tutte e a tutti. Io sono Marzia e vengo da Bruxelles, dal circolo del PD Bruxelles, ma in realtà anche dall'Abruzzo e dalla federazione della provincia di Pescara. Sono molto orgogliosa di rappresentarla oggi qui. Io lavoro al Parlamento europeo per il gruppo dei socialisti e democratici in comunicazione. Quindi lavoro anche tanto con Brando praticamente quasi ogni giorno. E parlando appunto di comunicazione, ringrazio tanto Aaron che ci ha sicuramente fornito degli esempi secondo me molto calzanti sulla questione dell'empatia, su cui poi ritornerò, ma la prima cosa che vorrei dire come esperta di comunicazione politica è che la comunicazione è politica e in realtà la politica è anche tanta comunicazione e oggi, diciamolo, ci sono tante cose che non vanno in questo PD e una di quelle è anche la comunicazione. Ci siamo lamentati, almeno io ho sentito tanti compagni e compagne lamentarsi per anni sulla questione della comunicazione del PD, perché un esempio lampante lo possiamo ritrovare sicuramente nell'ultima campagna elettorale, ragazzi, cioè è stato obiettivamente